J.J. Flood, had set the mould for the owners of the Gaiety Cinema in the years to come. Hard-headed businessmen with a soft spot for the pictures. But 1946 was also the year he sold the Gaiety, lock, stock and barrel, to Jock O'Hanrahan, a surgeon in Roscommon County Hospital. Sergeant O'Hanrahan already owned the Royal Cinema in Roscommon, and he employed a Miss O'Reilly to oversee the lucrative sweet shop in the Gaiety, selling gobstoppers, bullseyes and slab toffee to the crowd headed for the cheap seats in the pit, and for the better heeled in the plush tip-up seats on the balcony. Out to impress his sweetheart, it had to be the luxury box of Cadbury's milk tray chocolates. Little wonder that Sunday observance came under threat, and the numbers at benediction and evening devotions dropped off. But neither the belt of the crozier nor the snip of the censor's scissors mattered. Once the lights dimmed in the auditorium, that magic cinema ticket was a license to sit in close proximity to the opposite sex in the flickering dark, out of sight of prying eyes, the tight lips and the taboos that went with the segregation of the sexes in the chapel, the schoolyard and the dance hall. And all of this at a time when the only other affordable entertainment was maybe a football match or a bottle of stout and a game of hoops in men-only pubs. Cinema brought the sexes together to hold hands, cuddle and neck. A good film was a bonus. Pope Pius XII warned in 1961 that cinema carries with it such a degree of intellectual decadence that already one begins to consider it a danger for all the people. But he might as well have saved his breath to cool his porridge. At the peak of popularity in 1954, annual cinema admissions in the Republic of Ireland totaled over 54 million. This was the golden age of the silver screen, a mirror that reflected our secret dream life. The pictures were so popular that County Leitrim now had 4 cinemas: the Gaiety in Carrick-on-Shannon, the Lyric in Ballinamore, the Castle in Manorhamilton, the Ritz in Mohill, and in Drumshambo, the Roxy. Ironically, it was the parish priest who organised my first outing to the Gaiety Cinema, along with my mother and a group of neighbours from Arigna for Lent. A sea of pleated red curtain parted for the feature presentation, a holy film, in glorified Technicolor. Though I tried my best, my eyes began to close. About the same time, the apostles nodded off on Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane. And while the posters called it the greatest story ever told, by the finish, I had to be carried out of the cinema fast asleep. Moved by the film, however, a dance hall rake, off the drink for Lent, turned to the parish priest and said, "You know, Father, there wouldn't be that big of a difference between my mother and Mary, the mother of Jesus." "Well, no," said Father Cummins, "but there'd be a very big difference between the 2 sons." With the house lights down, the good, the bad and the ugly behaviour of everyone came under scrutiny from only one source: the searchlight beam of the usher's torch, when things got too noisy in the cheap seats or too raunchy on the balcony, or a would-be cowboy got ticked off for having his boots up on the partition and complained this would never have happened to Clint Eastwood. In 1971, the Gaiety passed into the hands of Fonzie Kane, a solicitor, Billy Craig, a company rep with Jacob's Biscuits, shopkeeper Joseph McManus, and local pharmacist Brendan Kiernan. By that stage, many houses around Ireland had black and white television sets, and more were mounting big aerials on the chimney for colour reception. On winter nights, the thinned-out crowd in the Gaiety mostly sat in the seats nearest the radiators. Breakdowns were common when the film jammed and the heat of the bulb melted the reel to whiteout. Or you had to make a run for the door before they started the national anthem. But I had caught the cinema-going bug, and the next film I went to see was one of my own choosing. I sat in a state of keen anticipation through the ads for engagement ring house jewelleries and the local bakery, Duffy's, we make a meal of our bread. There was an ad for Baby Sham and for Club Shivago, where romances begin. Then Agent 007 strode on screen, took aim, and fired an imaginary bullet that pierced my imagination. The dashing and ruthless hero, with his gadgets and his glib remarks, able to rescue dangerous situations in unexpected ways. He was the perfect big screen hero, impossibly handsome, but possessing too in his way the cinema-goer's obsessive and solitary instincts. Even on nights when I hadn't got the price of admission, I knew what kind of film was showing from the capering like Dracula in the street afterwards, as lads jumped out of the shadows to give passers-by a fright. Or a Bruce Lee film when a kung fu cry of "Hi-ya!" and a flying kick knocked the stuffing out of a brewsker. But along with the messing, I like to think that film taught us to explore a riskier sense of self, to feel that we might, like our cinema idols, and, if circumstances called for it, live heroically, love passionately, and in a pinch, die well. Even today, at a popular film in a crowded cinema, I relish the sense of collective enjoyment. And on this level, cinema going is mass entertainment. But it is also a private experience. The quickening of expectations as the lights dim, the curtains swish open, the projector thrums to life as the film infuses the dark like a potent, familiar perfume. Straight away, there is a sense of weightless entwinement, of being lifted out of ordinary time by the eternal forms and transcendental power of film story, movies, the pictures, the flicks.